as we now switch to women's foil. A slight change of pace, you will notice, if you are new to fencing. And top of the pile through the first semi-final, it is Melina Calugareanu from Romania taking on Karamete of Turkey. That will be followed shortly afterwards by Karolina Stuchbury of Great Britain up against Alina Polosiak of Ukraine. Now, a little subplot to all of this as the Guard of Honor come out. Melina Calugareanu is married to Julian Teodosiou, who we know is already into the men's sabre final. Will this be a good day for the Calugareanu Teodosiou household? Here is the Romanian, world number 33, 27 years old.
And from Turkey, Karamete.
Karamete is the world number 122. She's got some big support here. The 30-year-old Turkey athlete, married to Andrea Baldini from Italy, former Italian Olympian. She's based in Turin. Karolina Stuchbury, just 18 years old, by far the youngest of the four semi-finalists here at this European qualifier for Paris 2024. She is world number 33 I should say. Just 18, goes up against Alina Polosiak, a 21-year-old world number 43, who was just a sniff away from qualifying through the individual ranking points. Didn't quite make it in the end.
Thank you. You can start the first semi-final.
So first semi-final sees Melina Calugareanu of Romania take on Karamete from Turkey. In the head-to-heads between these two at senior international level, Calugareanu leads by 3 points to 1. There is Andrea Baldini coaching in the corner for Karamete. Target area in foil is the torso. Of course, if you were watching yesterday and you're new to fencing, you would have heard that that's the part of the target you need to hit. And like sabre, the referee is there to decide who has the right of way. Basically, if you've got the attack, it's your turn to hit. As long as you don't make a mistake, you're going to get the point. If your opponent makes you miss, either by parrying or running away, parry is a block with the blade, it's their turn to attack. Well, clear intent being shown by Calugareanu, but the first hit goes to Karamete. Willem Madder from the Czech Republic, the referee for this match. One of the very best across all three weapons in the world. We see him officiating many, many finals. Just sensing a little bit of tension here with Calugareanu. It's an interesting one, this particular matchup, because three athletes in the semi-finals were all in a big tussle for the second European spot through qualification by ranking. Those spots were taken by Anne Sauer of Germany and Flora Pastor from Hungary. But Stuchby, Calugareanu and Polosiak, who are all in this semi-final, were in a ding-dong battle with Flora Pastor, who in the end did enough to secure the spot through rankings. And that's why we see these three high-ranked athletes at the zonal qualifier for Europe. Countries are allowed to enter one athlete per weapon that they haven't already qualified in. So it is unique in the fact that none of your teammates are there. You're pretty much on your own in well, the highest of high stakes competitions. We're just coming up to the halfway stage of the first period of potentially 3. Target score, of course, still 15, but there's a bit more time used in foil compared to sabre. And you have to say, whilst Karamete might not really have been in that battle for qualification by ranking, she's playing a canny game today. She's contained Calugareanu in the early stages of this match, and she's just nicked the lead. When you look back at her day so far, it didn't start so well. In the pool stages, she lost 3 of her 5 fights. But then she beat Sheva from Armenia, and a very, very tight and slightly contentious match against Maria Marino from Spain in the quarterfinal. Went to 14-14, and a decision in the end given to Karamete for the win, protested vociferously by the Spaniards. Beauty of an attack from Karamete. She's been patient. She's slowed Calugareanu down. And now she's landing some simple attacks, getting into close quarters, or close distance, I should say. She's neat. She's compact. She's tidy. You can bet that training in the build-up to this, based in northern Italy, was absolutely fantastic. And she's deploying a tactic specifically for this competition. Just get the feel at the moment that Calugareanu is being drawn into closer distance than she really needs to be at. She's the taller fencer. Karamete quite happy with this distance. She's landed a couple of attacks, not on this occasion, hit the arm, so off target. But she's landed a couple of attacks, and she's also deploying a bit of counter strategy as well. Great first period from İrem Karamete from Turkey. She has slowed Calugareanu down, and she's put herself in the driving seat in this match. Andrea Baldini in consultation with Karamete. Now on the other end, the Romanian coach, I suspect, will be talking about just opening the distance up a little bit so that she can deploy her weapon. In this tighter distance that Karamete is setting at the moment, Calugareanu's point is almost beyond her opponent as soon as she makes a step forwards.
On garde.
Minute break is done in this first women's foil semi-final. Karamete from Turkey leading 6-4 against Calugareanu of Romania.
Regarde. Ouais, allez. Contre. Regarde.
And there's that counter.
Allez.
Working again for Karamete.
Regarde. Ouais, allez.
That's more like it from Calugareanu. She's just taken her time, opened up the distance a tiny bit before she starts her attack. So Karamete thinks it's para riposte. Referee has called a fail of the first riposte from the athlete from Turkey. There is Union Teodosi looking on at his wife. He's done half of his job to make the men's sabre final. And his partner, Melina, in a spot of bother against Irim Karamete. Got a matter sticking with his decision, so a lost video for Karamete. See, the distance opened up, has created better space, and it's more preferable for the taller athlete. Calugareanu just one behind now. And she doesn't want to get into these post-quarters scraps. Karamete is just too good in those positions. You don't want to see that. From the looks of things, that's something that Karamete has carried into this tournament. She seems to know what the issue is. And the doctor out to apply the magic spray, but sometimes it's just a masking agent and perhaps only lasts for a few minutes. Good to see her back up on her feet. Let's see how she's moving now.
Ouais. Allez. Allez, ça attaque de droite. Voilà. Regarde. Ouais. Allez. Max, attaque de gauche. Voilà. Regarde. Ouais. Allez. Regarde. La ligne suivante. Ouais. Allez. Regarde. Ouais. Allez. Les masques, s'il vous plaît, c'est toujours un tac offert, doucement. Regarde. Ouais. Allez.
We can see what difference a change in distance makes here. Calugareanu has now battled her way carefully back into the lead of this match. Karamete, of course, has had not a medical timeout, but certainly an injury break. Doesn't seem to want to push the attack as she did it earlier in the fight. I'm not the first as soon as I say that. That's exactly what she does. So all square after the second of 3 periods, and Calugareanu has wrestled her way back into the match, but we can see that Karamete is struggling just a little bit. Coach Baldini perhaps going to work on that front leg. But a good tactical change from the Romanian to put herself back in contention, taking on more information from her coach. Just from the body movement from Baldini, he looks to be saying, creep into that distance, get close, and then just keep your eyes open and wait for that moment to go. It looked like he was actually actioning for a broken time attack, which means that you throw your arm out to draw a parry, pull it back out of the way before your opponent takes the parry, and then land the end of the attack in the same line. Great tactical battle here. Karamete had the first period. Calugareanu had the second period. We go into the third with the scores all square. Clear tactics from both fencers. Calugareanu trying to set things up from a little bit further away. Karamete keen to keep the distance as close as it is now. We've gone over a minute without a valid hit. We have had at least one off target in this period, and Karamete scores the hit, but look, she is in trouble here on that front knee. And I wonder if right now we are going to see a medical timeout called. Well, the interesting thing here is that Karamete hasn't been. 3 of the 4 women's semi-finalists have really been in the mix in the race for qualification by ranking. They didn't quite make it. That's why they're here. We haven't seen Karamete so much, and that is because she experienced this knee injury earlier in the season, and she hasn't appeared at every single event. In fact, the last time we saw her was at the Tbilisi World Cup. There have been a couple of major events since then, and she's sort of dusted herself off, perhaps already knowing that she's going to get selected for Turkey for this qualifier, and just really focusing completely on this event from way back in January, when she stopped fencing on the full circuit. But it looks like the injury hasn't fully recovered. And even if Karamete was to get through this fight, you feel that it may be difficult for her in the final. Difficult times for Melina Calugareanu. She has to sit out and wait this medical break. 5 minutes now in fencing, allowed for some remedial efforts to be applied. Calugareanu has to try and stay focused. She clearly won't want to see her opponent injured. That's not what they're after, these fencers. It's not a case of qualify by any means, although I'm sure she'd take it. But she's got the key for her. She's got to stay focused. She's got to stay in the moment and prepared to get back out on the piste. And if the tactic now is to move her opponent up and down and exacerbate the injury, that's just part of the game, I'm afraid. And she's got to expose any weakness she can find. So, if you're just joining us, it's just under 2 minutes of an injury timeout left for Irim Karamete in the first women's foil semi-final here at 6 Tickets to Paris, the final qualifier for the next Olympic Games in women's foil fencing. Also got the men's sabre competition going on today, the second of 3 days of the event. Karamete back up. And I wonder if that knee is going to hold out. I've been told that she had fairly complicated surgery on that knee. Potentially is on the verge of full reconstruction. I'm not sure a few months is enough to recover from that, but the opportunity, the chance to qualify for an Olympic Games, it would be Karamete's second, having qualified for Tokyo. Perhaps a little too much to resist. Well, the knee injury that she suffered earlier this season has taken her out of the regular route to qualification, and I think those tears are a concession of sorts. She's going to try and go on and fence, but she's clearly in a lot of pain, and well, any issue with either leg in fencing is, well, devastating. It's almost impossible. If you can't move in this sport, you are a sitting duck. And you can see she's managed to fashion a parry pass to Calugareanu. Needs to be careful here. She would have seen now that Karamete is not going to move that much anymore. She just doesn't have it in her. I just wonder if it's worth it, even though there is a chance to go to Paris. What is going to be the long-term effect of not letting a knee reconstruction recover properly for Irim Karamete? She's not sitting down on guard fully anymore. She doesn't want to put any pressure on that front knee. And you can't imagine what kind of pain she's going through. Attack going through, acknowledged, and this one looks to have been decided by an injury to the athlete from Turkey. Brave from Karamete, that is for sure. Karamete feeling that she picked up the blade there. Looks like she hit off target from the lights on the scoring apparatus. So it won't get a point, but it will stop Calugareanu from going to 13. Wow. And you see an injured athlete is very difficult to call. The attack coming through. Calugareanu doing the right thing here, taking her time. She knows that if she goes too hard, too early, she could get caught up in Karamete, because she knows that Karamete would normally move away from the attack on some occasions with a bit more speed. At the moment, because of that knee injury to the Turkey athlete, she's unable to evade too quickly, so she needs to start her attack slowly, the Romanian. One away for Calugareanu. Karamete with 15 seconds left, but if anything, Calugareanu can just stay away from this one. Attack goes through, off target. Final action is parapost for Calugareanu. It was a brave way to battle on for Irim Karamete. A warm hug from Melina Calugareanu. But the Romanian, who's been in the hunt for Olympic qualification right from the start back in April last year, stays in the hunt here at 6 tickets to Paris. She's into the women's foil final in Luxembourg. Well, our job is to read the tactics of these fencers. It was very clear earlier on that Karamete was trying to keep the distance close, and Calugareanu in the second period opened it up. and reading everything is absolutely what we must do. But when there's an injury, well, it changed the entire face of the match. Very tough for Karamete as she walks off stage right. Calugareanu had to battle through that one, but in the end, the injury on her opponents made things just a little bit easier. Confirmation